I'm going through what I think are the biggest stories, and I'm going to contrast them with what the media wants to focus on. Hint, hint, Epstein. This one blew my mind. So you guys may have heard from me that the mass shooting in Canada this week was from a Trantifa terrorist, which is the latest in a string of Trantifa terrorists. I want you to hear this Canadian police chief talking about the gunman using the preferred pronouns. Play cut 10, please.
We're not hiding it. In fact, you're the first media to ask the question. I will say this. We identified the suspect as they chose to be identified in public and in social media. I can say that Jesse was born as a biological male who approximately, the information that I have, approximately 6 years ago began to transition to female and identified as female.
So this person transitioned when they were 12. And he's using the preferred pronouns for this murderer. We're worried less about the murder than we are about the pronouns. Got to make sure to be really respectful of the murderer. And it's important to note that we were told part of the reason we were all suckered, not me, thank God. It's really lovely to be the editor of Breitbart in moments like this because I didn't have to do any of this pronoun stuff in my newsroom. Most other newsrooms did. We never did. We never indulged all that stuff. Even at the height of the Caitlyn Jenner stuff, never used the preferred pronouns. Always avoided it. Very proud of that. We stood firm on that. But remember, we were told we needed to use the preferred pronouns or else the trans might kill themselves. Now we're using the preferred pronouns and they're killing others over and over again. And it's probably connected, as time goes on, we'll find out, to the murder of Charlie Kirk, the assassination, most high-profile assassination in 60-odd years in this country. One of the most devastating things to happen to us as a people in many years. And all this is connected to indulging the trans too much. Sick stuff. We got to put an end to it. But we're not going to if the far left is in power. And they could regain power soon if we're not careful, if we can't get the conversation back on track. Other items I think are really huge. My friend Seamus Bruner, who works at GAI for Peter Schweitzer, he pointed out, and Senator Josh Hawley confirmed this, that at least $60 million in dark money is funding the Minnesota protests. Funding from 14 groups, including parts of the Soros network, are what's funding all of this anti-ICE agitation. I asked right away, remember the Renee Good killing, when that took place, when she was obstructing an ICE operation, I think it was in the middle of the day on a Wednesday. She's a mother. What's she doing out there? She's not with kids. She's not at her job. This is her job. Her job's protesting. And then she, whether intentionally or inadvertently, tries to run over an officer and she gets shot dead. And that increases the amount of protests and rioting and violence. So the left would have you believe that ICE is the bad guy there, nonstop. Pam Bondi had to testify on this yesterday. It was over and over again. We've got more celebrities popping off about ICE. But Tom Homan had a big announcement on how things are going. I want to play this clip. Let's play cut 7, please.
The QRF deployments have dropped dramatically because we have less of that occurring, less of the agitator that cross that line. That is a good thing. That is a win for everybody, not just for the safety of law enforcement officers. It's a win for this community. With that, in success that has been made arresting public safety threats and other priorities since this search operation began, as well as the unprecedented levels of coordination we have obtained from state officials and local law enforcement, I have proposed, and President Trump has concurred, that this search operation conclude. A significant drawdown has already been underway this week and will continue to the next week.
He's drawn down troops, declaring victory, moving on. Good stuff. Homan was the guy, always was the guy to be in charge of this, and it's a good thing. But we're not going to focus on that because the left really wants to continue to try to exploit this because they think it's going to be a favorable news cycle for them, and it might be. If you look at social media, it certainly looks like it. Let's play this exchange. Let's play cut 8 with Dan Goldman, one of the far-left lawfaristas in the Congress, and Todd Lyons, the ICE director. Go ahead.
Mr. Lyons, what guidance have you given to your agents about asking people walking on the streets of America to show proof of citizenship?
Sir, as I stated earlier, the men and women of ICE, deportation officers, special agents, we conduct targeted intelligence-driven operation. We don't walk around on the streets asking people about their American citizenship.
Really? So all of those individual American citizens who have been randomly asked are lying. Is that what you're saying?
Sir, if the men and women of ICE are conducting an investigation, whether it be for Title 8 immigration enforcement or Title 18 criminal enforcement, they'll ask someone their nationality.
Right, but that's not targeted because they're asking all sorts of American citizens, including off-duty law enforcement. Now, have you directed at any point your agents under the Supreme Court's racial profiling ruling to only stop non-white people and those who look like immigrants to ask for their...
Race bait. These people are obsessed with race. All this is bogus, and we care about law enforcement. We care about enforcing our laws. These people do anything to protect the criminals.